Well, I guess we do have sort of end time limits, I think, right? So we might as well get started, and appreciate you all being here on time. My name is Nicholas Xenos, and thank you for coming to join this session. We're really rather excited about the various developments that we have in the company and the operating system and how it can engage with academia. The focus that I have today, although I've given a lot of presentations on the program in general in the past, is really on a new course offering that we have that I think will enable you to engage your students in a way that gives them a stronger understanding of networking, a broader understanding of networking, and subsequently makes them more competitive. So this is really focused around the Junos as a second language class, but I will preface it by saying I'm going to put a few marketing slides in here anyway, because there's always a relevance point with this, and so I try to take advantage of that because we continue to grow in the market, and the presence of our products in the market and the technology that's there continues to grow. So I'm going to break this down into a little bit about Juniper Networks, talk about the course itself and some of the details, although we're not going to go through the course today. It is 16 hours. A little bit about the Academic Alliance, which is the enabler for putting this, this curriculum into your learning institution. And then a demo of Junosphere, and more specifically the unconnected version that you could run on your campus. So I'm rather excited about that as well. Let me just do that right. No, it doesn't want to do that. Okay. So a little bit about Juniper. You know, we were incorporated in 1996. I promise not to spend a lot of time on this, but I just think as a wrapper, it's important to understand where we've come from, and hi, have a seat, and where we're going. So we're about over a $4.5 billion company, annual revenues. We have about 9,000 employees. We're in 47 countries, and just to put things into perspective, we're known for heavy lifting. That's where we started as a company. High data feeds and speeds, high security, high reliability. Examples of that, we power 6 of the 7 world largest stock exchanges. We're number 3 in edge routing and Ethernet switching, 2 in core routing service provider, and number 1 high-end firewalls. We do business with 96% of the Fortune 100 companies. 80% of the internet traffic crosses a Juniper network somewhere. And we secure 80% of the smartphones in North America. So while we do not see the, you don't necessarily see us in Best Buy, you don't see us kind of in these low-end retail products, we are there, and the chances are pretty good if you pick up your cell phone, it's running on a Juniper network somewhere. So we have a simple mission. We really see, unlike some of the other companies in the industry, we do focus on our layer 2, layer 3, our specialty area, and to that end we connect everything and empower everyone. We build our own silicon, we design our chips, and have some interesting things. I won't go into details about that today, but if you're interested in looking at innovative and disruptive technologies, there's a lot of information on the web about that. We develop systems that are focused in for specific types of deployment. QFabric is something I'll throw out there because it changes the way that data farms and the information structure network would allow faster and more simple access and control of that. And then, you know, people are talking about SDN these days, the software definable networks. We've been doing that for years. So the platform is not only a high reliability platform, that's Junos, it also has access to it with API calls and software development kits that allows you to change the type of interaction that you or an application may have to that network. So from a learning point of view, that makes it really interesting, because not only are you learning sort of the technology, the administrative parts of it, operation and troubleshooting, but you also have this opportunity in this platform that's an industry platform that allows your programmer students to develop intelligent applications that will link to and make calls to the network. And that's what we generically call the new network. But now you've heard this SDN floating around. A lot of people are getting on that bandwagon. Just to know that in the networking environment, in an industrial environment, we are the first and only ones that are doing that. So that's, it allows for some really interesting cross-discipline kind of learning opportunities. We have one operating system, and this is the one that we're going to talk to here today, across our entire product set. There are a few legacy things out there with some companies that we have acquired over the years, but anything that your students would learn in the academic environment then ports over from the very smallest boxes all the way to the heavy iron that we have in the service provider arena. So from a learning foundation point of view, it's really super because you just continue to add to that learning experience as opposed to having to relearn command line interfaces, having to relearn a different environment every time. So it's very, very modular, and I won't get into a lot of that detail today, but we've been at this since 1998 when we first had the focus to put everything into one operating system. And that has been a strategy of ours, and we continue. As you see acquisitions, perhaps in the news, you see acquisitions of companies that we have brought on board. The intention is to take that technology and move it into the single operating system. Oops, let me go back. So in summary of this, just to how we position ourselves really, we're in routing, we're in switching, we're in security. Through our software development, we're allowed to expand everything from the data center to large enterprises to branch and campus. Our most recent acquisition was Trapeze. That's gotten us into the wireless environment. And so you'll see some innovative things coming out as that gets incorporated into the operating system as well. So let's focus into the thing that y'all came to see a little bit. I'm excited about this course because we have, if you've been in some of my presentations before, I've talked about our introduction to Junos operating system, our Junos routing essentials, and all those lead to the first level certification, which is our foundational certification, the JNCIA Junos certification. But sometimes you don't necessarily want to take them through that entire track because you have students that are in the Cisco environment. They're taking CCNA. They come in with routing and networking experience, and what you want to do is enable that current knowledge base to extend to a technology that they are most likely going to find in industry. And so we've compartmentalized portions of this and make references in this new series that we have, which is called the Enablement series, and it's Junos as a second language, and we do this for iOS, and we do this for some other platforms that are out there as well. So the students can leverage the current knowledge they have and get to their objectives more quickly. So this one is focused on the Cisco iOS platform. You know, we recognize, we play nice with Cisco. We have, obviously, we're competitors in the market, but from an academic point of view, if you really look at what the students need to understand the technology, and they need to understand a number of technologies when they get into the work environment or to be competitive to get there. So that's the intent of this. The course, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, is about 16 hours. It has a considerable lab content to it as well. And we say, and I think Bill may attest to this because he made a comment during the class that we had at Working Connections a few weeks ago. You know, it's a good course almost as a standalone as well. You know, you will see consistent references to iOS and various command sets and how all that fits together. But basically we say, look, if you've got basic networking knowledge and understanding of the OSI model and TCP/IP, then you're actually going to do pretty well in this. And so you may want to look at that curriculum map and see how that may fit into a course that you have already. But I just put, it will go into BGP differences, and you see how those things are, and you'll see constant references to that in the courseware. So the contents then, of course, are focused on the way we do things in the Junos operating system. There are 9 chapters, and so you can see some of the contents there. And as I said, the beauty of working in the Junos operating system is the command line interface is consistent. And so it doesn't really matter. I mean, if you have some older gear that's lying around, or our colleague here in the front here mentioned that, well, if you've got some end-of-life stuff, I'd love to put it into my lab. The fact is that it really doesn't matter what gear you have in there. As long as it's running Junos, then the effects are the same. Obviously, as you get into the larger boxes, you get some switches and things that are turned on that enable some of the advanced functionality and speeds and feeds. But from a training point of view and a learning point of view, the effect is the same. And so I would encourage you to look at that. Lots of labs, very important. I encourage you to try this out. And I'll talk about how you can do that in a little bit. But once you get into the Junos operating system, you're going to see that it's really pretty elegant. It's very logical. And once you learn that hierarchy of things, or you have a Linux programming background, or you deal with any of the programming languages that are there, then you'll appreciate the kind of the inner beauty of the thing, if you will. So I'm going to do a little demo of Junos in a minute, but I do want to take an opportunity just to throw in a couple of slides about the Academic Alliance, which is my baby in Juniper. And that is the vehicle by which we present this information for you. We allow this curriculum for you. As you may have seen, this is a slide I put up there a lot. I like to keep a consistent story, but the focus with the Academic Alliance is to enable your students, is to enable you to be able to provide additional curriculum, give them additional learning skills, and to make them more productive in the work market. So my passion is to bridge the gap between industry and academia. And so subsequently, this program is very flexible. It's updated and relevant as the technology changes and the company grows and our position grows in the market, and also creates that stickiness to the colleges. We're trying to keep the students interested. We're trying to keep the students engaged, and promoting that extended learning experience for them so they continue to stay there and continue to grow. I will have some, I don't have these slides here today, but I'm getting some information on employability, and I will, if you give me your email address before you leave, I will send you some of those things that reference the kind of the extended employment opportunities that are out there as students learn not only the Cisco environment or one of the other ones and Juniper. Because that market continues to grow, both in our own company and our partner infrastructure, and the growing customer base as well. So those opportunities are there, and they continue to grow. We have some benefits within the Academic Alliance program, and Junosphere is one of them. I know gear is a significant issue these days, and we're all struck with the economics and the budget cuts and not being able to spend money here and there on things. Junosphere is a virtual environment, and it comes in a couple of different flavors. One is a cloud-based environment that we actually host, and you can have access to. And this course that I just referenced, the Junos Second Language course, actually has configuration and lab exercises that are already pre-created for this virtual environment. So you could run it in your classroom with gear. You could run it in your classroom in a virtual environment in the cloud, or you could run it in a virtual environment using the VMware platform, which is the standalone. So there's 3 different versions. Now the VMware version is not available quite yet. It's in beta. I will show it to you today. but that's coming. So you have a couple of different options to very, very easily put this additional technology in your classroom. And within the framework of the program itself, you don't actually have to deliver classes towards certification. What this is about is extending the knowledge of the students and extending the capabilities that they would have. So if you want to incorporate in a multi-vendor environment some of the Juniper technology, we're perfectly okay with that. And as part of the Academic Alliance, you can utilize portions of the curriculum to sit in a networking class that you're delivering already, or as an extension to one of the certification programs that you may be offering already, or taking those modules or this course plus or the IJOS and JRE course that I referenced earlier, and actually have the students challenge a certification in Juniper. Our certification program does run very similar to the Cisco's one, and a lot of the other industry players out there. We have the associates level, we have the specialist level, the professional level, and the expert level. And the Academic Alliance program is focused on the associate and the specialist level, because for us that provides the foundation for all of the other certifications. And as I mentioned earlier, it's one operating system, so you build all of those, all that extended knowledge on the foundation that they have already. So within the program itself, we have also some pretty decent discounts on Juniper Lab gear. So you get that opportunity as an Academic Alliance member, which means that you can get a significantly larger lab layout for the same amount of money. And I would venture to say that we probably have the best discount on Juniper Lab gear that's out there. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that we're right up there on it. Additional things that we do have that are made available is as I get equipment that has been reconditioned or upgraded with our customers, I often have equipment that I can get you. And what I do is I send out an email saying, look, I've got some of this, or if you have put a request in saying, look, I need this and this, or I'd like to extend that, then I will make sure that we add those things to you. And so we can continue to augment the physical lab gear that you have in a classroom. You know, this Junosphere thing, I mean, we've talked off and on about it for a while, but it really is a game changer. You can take anywhere from 1 virtual router to 100 virtual routers to 500 virtual routers and create a huge topology in the cloud. This is not Packet Tracer, and I have the greatest respect for Packet Tracer. I think it does some great things as a learning opportunity for the students, and you know, the various different exercises they get to do with that. Wow, that's a dramatic musical interlude. Thank you for that. Next thing we'll do a mamba. No. So we have that opportunity, and I think your students benefit quite a lot out of this. But this is not a simulation. This is really the operating system running in a hypervisor environment, whether it's a VMware engine or whether it's one of the other hypervisors that we use in our cloud environment. So you can see some case studies of that with the Queen Mary University of London, which I have mentioned before in other presentations, but they had 250 virtual routers running in a big networking topology as one of their networking classes. So it's really rather exciting, and that is just the kind of the tip of the iceberg. You could model and do some interesting things in much larger topologies as well. The beauty of this is that the virtual environment is it's transparent through a connector device that we have. It's transparent to physical devices. So you could have a physical network, whether it's Juniper or other gear, and put on this connector device, and then, or the software rather, and then that will make this whole virtual environment a transparent extension to any network that you have out there. And so you can do configurations, you can extend things, you know, change routes, do whatever it is you want to do within that network exercise and it will act as a real network for you. So it's rather exciting. In support of this, we also have, of course, the course modules. We have pre-configured lab configurations that I mentioned that are available also for the Junos second language. We have all of our instructor training is for free. So we have our courses up on an instructor site, so you can come down and basically download those and view the courses themselves. We periodically run, in these kinds of events, we run actual kind of shorter courses that are focused for faculty. We did one at Working Connections. We'll probably do one in the summer again. And so it's an opportunity to work with one of our certified instructor trainers that go out there and then can give you kind of that additional benefit of how you would actually present that class and so on. But we try to make this as easy as possible. We have no program fees for the program as well, so it doesn't cost you any money to participate. We provide free certification vouchers for your faculty instructors. And we have a website that, actually a couple different websites that provide additional instructor resources for you to be able to ask your questions and get other supporting kinds of information that you might need to be successful in class. We also encourage the students to get certified, although it's not a requirement for participation in the program. And we give discounts for the certification vouchers for the students. And I have actually a digital library that the students can download the courseware if they like. And frankly, you know, as I said, the program is very flexible. If you look at the 5-tier environment and the include tier, you can take portions of the curriculum and include it in your networking class, and so in that case you don't need the downloads. But realistically, we've made these course books available to the students at the price of about a coffee at Starbucks. So they have a digital library, they can download it, they can print portions of it, and so on and so forth. So it is available only through the Academic Alliance, and so you would have a special code that you would give your students when they go up and register on that site. And that library follows them around so they can use it as a reference in later life as well, or for extended learning opportunities. So, so it's all rather exciting. I think I mentioned a little bit about this before, but as you can see, we are focusing the Academic Alliance on the foundational part of our certification program. And just to mention, this, you see our major tracks in routing and switching. If you get up onto our website, you're also going to see that we have an extended learning library that goes along with other things like wireless, like some of the other areas of speciality that we have that are not in what we put in our core curriculum. So if you have an opportunity, or if you have a real interest in another area that you would like to add to that, then we can talk about that. This really provides a foundational start for getting the students knowledgeable in Junos and giving them a good foundation to any extended studies they would want in our family. So we can't always deliver all of that curriculum, but I'm certainly open to having that discussion in ways that would enable the students and make them more knowledgeable and more successful. I wanted to bring up just a VMware player version here. Okay, so what I've done here is I've got a VMware workstation, and as you can see, I've got a couple of images there. In fact, I just cranked one of them up. Now normally this is running on my laptop, and I have one session here. I can actually run I think up to 4 given the amount of RAM that I have, 3 to 4. But you would run this on one of your larger VMware capable machines, and subsequently could put in more. Oh, I'm using the wrong keyboard. Look at that. Yay. Confused myself.
RAM would you recommend?
Well, that's going to be released in the specs when we actually release this product. One of the things that we're doing with it now is we're running it through beta. I will tell you I've got 8 gigs on this laptop, and I can run, as I said, pretty effectively. I can run three of those, and at a squeak 4. But it also depends on what else you're running on it, right? So I'm going to go Control Alt, and then so I'm here, and then I should be able just to type in. Okay, so that brings up my image. So now I actually am running the Junos operating system there, and if I want to go in, I just can CLI, which puts me into the basic mode here. We're not in configuration mode, but I can actually, I can spell. You can see that it has generated some interfaces that come up automatically. I haven't really done a lot to pre-configure these things, but then I can actually get into using our command. Now you can see the prompt has actually changed to a hash mark. That's just that simple to get you into configuration mode. And then it changes a little bit, but in this case you have to. So I'm doing basically the same thing on this other inside the configuration mode, but once I'm in this edit mode, our system, as I mentioned, is a little hierarchical, and I'll show you a slide on that in just a second. But once you're in that mode, you basically look at the operating system as a series of hierarchies. So from a construction point of view, the one thing you have to remember with Junos is where you are, and you can always go up and down within that hierarchy. But it does make it very, very easy to do a number of different configurations within that specific area that you're working on, whether you're configuring interfaces, whether you're configuring protocols, access lists, and so on and so forth. All those things sit within a hierarchy of the system itself. So this, I don't have this set up in a way that you all can play with this today, but I would give you an opportunity if you want to get onto our cloud version until we release the beta, and this version will be available to our Academic Alliance or some released version of it. But in the cloud version, you can certainly get up there and run through a kind of a demo account that'll allow you to play with it and see how this thing works together. I have some demo topologies which will allow you to go in and configure ports and configure access lists and just get a feel for it and see how it works. Within the, excuse me, within the Junos, excuse me, as a second language, you will have within the exercises not only the guided exercises, but also the exercises that allow for free play and actually doing some stuff on your own as well. Your students will get that opportunity too. So, as I mentioned a couple seconds ago, the most important thing to remember is that the command sets are in hierarchical structures. Once you get that, you'll have an opportunity just to go top down and or edit. You edit into various different levels of interfaces, and I think as somebody who's starting to work with the Junos operating system coming from a different environment, that's probably the biggest thing you have to understand is how that structure works. Once you understand how that structure works, you can issue commands like top and last. Up and down keys will give you command sets that you've done in the past, and so it makes it really, really fast to do a whole bunch of stuff together. I think we just saw that a little bit, but this is actually just some slides out of the course itself, and you'll have, as I said, an opportunity to play with that a little bit more. I guess in sort of summary, we have you know, a very flexible program that we would encourage you to to engage with us. The program is free. We're there to enable your students. We're there to give you the resources that you need to make your college more interesting to the students that come into it, and to create that stickiness for your college campus. And you know, we try really hard to keep this thing the most relevant for you. I have a passion for this, and I'm very interested in making sure that our students are competitive, our students are prepared, and they're ready to go into the workforce and environments with the background that they need to be successful. So what we try to do with this program, and we continue to add to these features as we go, is we want to continue to build that community. We have some SharePoints already. There you can share best practices, and we should by the end of this year have a new site that is kind of a more kind of one-stop shop, all things being equal. Would love to have the students to have the course books either as a formal part of the curriculum. I think that we have provided that at a cost that is really insignificant in the greater scheme of things, or as reference guides for them to be able to go and play with that. Positive attitude towards Juniper technology. I say that a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but we know we're working in a multi-vendor environment, you know, it's I think every operating system and environment has its positives. I'm really rather excited about ours, and I think once you start to play with it, you'll see the benefits of that as well. But they all have a place, and from a student's point of view, they have to go in and understand that, hey, this does this really well, that does that really well, and it all plays together if they know what they're talking about. We encourage you to extend your knowledge in Juniper. And so if you want to take additional certifications, those vouchers are free for you. If there's areas of interest that you're interested in specifically, then I'll try to enable that for you so you can extend your own personal knowledge and have that resource in your back pocket as you want to go. And we're looking for partners, right? So we want to grow this program. We have about 100 Academic Alliance members now around the world. The program is global, and we have some universities in China. We've got some technical, wow, and now dive, everybody. So we have them in Australia. We've got them in Asia. All over Europe. We have just opened up Africa and Latin America, and a number of them here in the United States as well. So I'd welcome your participation with that. And oh, I did not mention, however, that it's very easy to join the program. We have an agreement that you sign, an information form that you fill out, and that kind of kicks the ball off for the rest of the activities. And my contact information, oh, I'm sorry, okay. My contact information is there, or if you had to remember one, you could remember academicalliance@juniper.net. That's just easy enough. So I thank you for your time, and I really look forward to participating with you and engaging your students and extending the learning opportunities that they have out there.